Hello, everyone. Welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're finishing the story of more, wrapping up with the appendix, the story of less. And in this chapter, Hope Jaren just kind of really lays out step by step what you and I can do to help fight against climate change and everything that's going on. Oh my goodness. Her first point is the action you take. You need to take some action. You need to do something. And she breaks it down for us. She says, okay, first, examine your values. What's important to you? Meat industry, carbon emissions, energy. And she lists out all these different things. Okay, here's a whole bunch of different topics. Which one connects with you more, the most? Okay, pick that one, whatever it is. She gives the example here of energy and carbon emissions later on. So let's just say that's our value. Lowering our energy use and carbon emissions, okay, because their energy was from a coal factory that she talked about. Okay, so that's our value. That's the one value. And we're going to focus our energy towards that. Step 2, gather some information about that. What things in your house use electricity, or where does your electricity come from, things like that. Okay, number 3, make it personal. Okay, make it personal activities consistent with your values. So my value is I want to use less energy because I want to save energy for the rest of the world. Therefore, I'm going to use less energy in my personal life. And she gives an example here later on. But making those, my values and my actions, consistent, equal, the same. She gives an example of Popeyes, how when she was younger, her son was being born, or her child, that she took some of her money and she invested it into stocks and bonds and different things. Later on, she found out that her investments were in fast food industries and things like that were going against her values. So she started to take that money out and put it into other places that matched her values. And then she says, can you make your personal investment consistent with your values? I actually think that might be connected to the Popeye story more. But the way that you use your money, when you go to the store, when you go to a restaurant, right? Who you vote for even, things like that. Your investments, can they be consistent with your values? So if I think using energy is really bad, but I go into a store in the summertime and they just got the air conditioning pushed on blast, and I know they don't need to have it that powerful, going to a different store, taking my money to a different store and investing in that mindset. Okay, in shopping local, things like that too. Number 5, can you move your institutions towards consistency with your values? So that means where you work, where you go to school, where you go to church. Can you have conversations with those leaders talking about your values, talking about your experience, and trying to help that institution change direction? That leads us to point number 2. And that's the difference that you make. And she talks about if you are in kind of that top tier countries, so kind of Western Europe, England, France, Japan, Korea, America, Canada, those kind of countries that have a lot of the wealth and energy and power. If you're in one of those countries, the actions you take actually are really helpful towards making a difference out there. Because we consume so much resources, when we lower it, it's actually a huge portion that we're lowering. So let's say there's another family in another country that's a third world country. The amount that we lower could actually fuel, maybe 10 families from that other country. Okay, so people in those countries that have a lot of economic power, when they make small changes, it's actually really significant globally. So you can make a difference. First one she gives an example for And this is just on the value of energy. Okay, so if you have a value of meat or airplane fuel, things like that, it's going to be a little different, but this is just an example. Okay, my value is energy, she says. So I'm going to look at the things in my house that are consuming energy. Okay, my water heater that heats up my water, that's the number one most energy consuming thing in my household. So I'm going to not heat my water quite as much in my shower or washing clothes, things like that. Slow steps, right? Just lowering that tool. Number 2, okay, what else? Temperature, controlling temperature, using the heater or using the air conditioner. And the air conditioner is a lot worse in that sense. But maybe not keeping it so cold in your house. Oh, still comfortable, sure, but maybe not, refreshing, okay? Just comfortable. And then 3, for energy, look at all the other different things in your house that use energy and try to use them less often. She talks about using the vacuum. She says instead of vacuuming once a week, vacuum once a month. Now, I don't know how you feel about that, okay? I don't know how focused on cleaning your house or whatever you are, but that's just one example, okay? And slowly making personal steps consistent with your values. The third thing she gives here for information is just a bunch of stats. So like 1963, things were like this, now they're like this. And she just gives a whole bunch of different stuff about plastics, about fuel, about meat, food, sugars, all this kind of stuff that you can look at and enjoy. Lastly, she ends with some sources where she got her information and also some suggested reading. So if you really want to deep dive into this topic, you can look at some articles or some books that will help you understand what's going on here and certainly where she got her information from. And that is how the story of More ends. That leaves us with vocabulary. And there were a few words here that I could have added in here, but I just picked the really unique ones that I had to even look up myself. The first one here is pilloried, and that means like humiliated or denounced or defamed. Someone taking your reputation and destroying your reputation. And so the doctor that owned Popeyes, in the newspaper, a lot of bad things were said about him. Abstination means abstaining, stopping from doing something. That can be abstaining from drinking, or in this case, eating fast food from Hope. But we can use that abstination, something you abstained from, or that period you abstained from it. Erudite is someone who's really intelligent or smart. So I think her erudite investments, her intelligent or knowledgeable investments, actually went against her values. Orthogonal is like having a right angle. Wink. And I can't remember exactly where she used this. There we go. Term for orthogonal. Well, tried to make pen. There we go. Angle. Maybe her values are going this direction, but her money went that direction. I think it's kind of what she was aiming for there. Let's see here. Go back to nothing. Okay. Wow. Back. Okay. Gentrify means to make like a gentleman, make upper class. So if you're supporting low-income housing, trying to help people get housing even though they don't have a lot of money, but then your investments in a group that's going to take some apartments and make them upper scale, so that way only rich people can live with them. Gentrify, make it for high class or royalty. And then austerity is like severeness, strictness, sternness, in that sense. So man, 3 of these. Orthogonal I had to look up. Pilloried I had to look up. And okay, I guess just those 2. But there were some extra ones that I thought were super hard. That leaves us with our discussion question. What are you going to do today? What action are you going to take to contribute to the story of less? And of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time we have for today, but thank you so much for joining me while reading this book, The Story of More by Hope Jaren. See you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.